I'm using Elementor during my day job, and it is a little bit limiting. I want to experiment more with HTML and CSS that is available on the web right now. And one of the best ways of doing that is actually using Etch. So during my live stream, I've created these sections. So it's a header, it's a hero section, and a introduction and feature sections. It's what cost me 1 hour and 50 minutes or something to set it up, but also to explain how it works and understand what I'm actually trying to do. And also figuring out how we can find things, because I don't have answers for everything. It was a lot of fun to do. And if you want to follow me on my journey and understand more of HTML and CSS, please subscribe to this channel. Because I will be doing more of these kinds of things, because I love doing them actually. It was one of the things that I moved into page builds, that it could make things a little bit easier to do. To create some sections very quickly and then try to define it. Now, I'm not only trying to understand how HTML and CSS works, I'm also trying to understand how a CSS works, which is a framework for the styling for the buttons, but also for the text and that sort of things. And secondly, I also want to understand how Etch itself works. For the header itself, we created something fun. I didn't know how to do this at first, but we figured it out during the live stream. So inside a header, we have an image, which is our logo, and we have a nav, and then a nav list. But I want the last item to align to the right and to be a button. So how I did that right now is by adding a class of button right here. So if we go into our nav item, it has a class of button primary. And inside of our unordered list, I've added a little bit of CSS with nav item, and then we select the last child to be margin left aligned, but then also, which makes sure that it aligns to the right. Also, because this is a blue button and every A gets a white color, as you can see right here, I don't want that to happen, so I made it a white color. By seeing this now, perhaps we should move the button from our list item to our text item by pressing enter and then entering a dot and then pressing primary. That should do the trick. And then we can remove the color white right here. That looks a little bit better. Now this section was fun as well to understand. I really don't understand this yet, but what we can do is say that every section has a certain name. For instance, we have the first line, which is main start. Then we have so we have the main start right here. Then we have some empty room. Then we have a line right here that's called the content, and then we have the main end. And that's how you align these blocks. So for the grid columns, we have the main start, we have content start after the first block, then we have content end, that will be somewhere around here, and then we have main end. And that way you can name the positions that every section could be in. I don't know what this is, but that can be removed. And if we select it, we see that it starts at main start and then ends at content start. That's right here. But I want this to be at the bottom, not at the top. So we want the start to be at the main end and the row end to also be at the main end. We want to start at the content end. So that is the end of the content, and then have the row also at the bottom of the section. It was really fun to find out, and I didn't know that it worked like that. Then we continued on with this featured section, and I wanted to try to omit the amount of extra diffs that we else needed, and the way that I did that is by using a grid template of rows and a grid columns of 40 characters, 1 fraction and 40 characters, just to have some spacing, and then align the items inside there. So the heading doesn't have any position in the grid, but this one does. Here we said that it needs to be in grid 3 to 4 and in row 1 and 3, because this is a 2-column grid and a 2-row grid. It will make sure that it is the complete size if it needs to be. For the button, I want that to be in the first column, so I set that 1 to 1, the first column, and then the second row, it needs to end there. So yeah, that's basically what I could build in 1 hour and 50 minutes. That was a lot of fun to do. And I hope this video makes you understand a little bit how the CSS works. And if you want to watch a live stream, you can watch it right here. It's a more lengthy explanation of this video and how we discover things. And if you'd like to join my next live stream, then hit the subscribe button. As always, keep designing.